Arsene Wenger has recently, or maybe not so recently, but he has taken a job as the head of global football development for FIFA. He took this position in November 2019, I believe, and working full time now for FIFA. The former and legendary Arsenal manager has decided to kind of use this platform that he has to propose a new offside law. This is amidst people being angry about the marginal VAR calls for offside, especially in the Premier League. Most notably, I think, was the Chelsea and Manchester United game where Giroud was caught offside by his toe, and there's a lot of cases people getting caught offside by basically their armpit, which people are angry about. And using his position, Arsene Wenger is trying to change the law. So right now, the law states that if any part of your body that can score a goal, so anything but your arms and hands, is beyond the second last opposition player when the ball is played, then you are offside. But Arsene Wenger wants to change that to if any part of your body that can score a goal is behind the defender, then you are onside. So your whole body other than your toe could be in what we would now call an offside position. But if your toe is in line with the last defender, then you are onside. And I kind of want to give my take on what I think about this proposal and what I think about this rule if it was implemented. I think it would be horrible for the game. I think it would make it so much more difficult to defend because the striker has a yard and a half yard on you that you can make up because you can't really try to play an offside trap anymore. And, especially I'm thinking of not just through balls, but let's say a low cross is coming in very quickly. They're standing behind you, and there's not really a lot you can do about it because, if you backpedal to keep them, in front of you, then they've got more space in front of you. You're really handcuffed as a defender trying to defend somebody who's coming at you like that. And I've played the position, I've played center back, and it's difficult enough to kind of manage the offside, keeping your back four in line and all that. But this is an entirely new element that makes it, 3 times harder to defend because almost every time the ball is going to be played to that forward, they are going to have that extra yard on you. And all sports are games of margins, there's games of inches, and in this scenario, it's a full yard advantage to the forward or the opposition player anytime they come at you. It's, we'd start to see a game where you can't really play a high line because if you play a high line and somebody beats the trap and gets that full extra yard on you, you're not going to catch them, especially, pacey forward. But even if they're not pacey, they can probably still manage to catch you and get in behind with an easy chance on goal. As a result, you've got to backpedal. You've got to backpedal even more, which leaves a very, very deep line, which kind of eliminates free-flowing play because, you can only go so far with the ball before you meet the back four, which is bunkered down very close to the top of the 18-yard box. And I think it makes for a bit of an ugly game just because you're so focused on trying to keep the opposition players in the offside position, or maybe you're not even trying to do that. Maybe you're just trying to keep them in front of you. You're defending without necessarily seeing the player because if just their foot is lagging behind, then they're in an onside position. I don't agree with this stance Arsene Wenger is making. I can understand why he's thinking that. I think for right now the rule offside is offside. That's how it is. If you're, just that slight toe offside, armpit offside, it's, you're offside, unfortunately. I think it's tough to make those calls. I think it's tough on the fans of the team who's just scored to, see the review and all of a sudden, wow, maybe in a big situation, wow, offside by a toe. And that's obviously tough to swallow, but, it plays both ways. It's not like it's a one-way street. Both teams, every team plays under that regulation. If you're offside, you are offside. That is one of the, I was a big supporter of VAR, but in the last month, that support has kind of gone downhill. I mean, I like the premise of it, reviewing plays, but the inconsistencies of it, and especially yesterday in the Tottenham Burnley game, Burnley's goal. I mean, how the hell is Dwight McNeil not called for a handball in the build up to Chris Wood's goal? It's you can see it. It hit his arm. That's got to be called. I mean, you look back to I believe it was Burnley versus Southampton, was it? Or Burnley versus Bournemouth. I think it was Burnley versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth score a goal, and then a handball is called in their own box in the build-up, and it's a penalty. And all of a sudden, instead of 1-1, they're down 2-0. But in the Tottenham game, hits Dwight McNeil, like clearly hit Dwight McNeil's arm, and they didn't call anything. That kind of stuff is annoying me. But I am a supporter of VAR. I think they can fix it to the point where it's consistent with calls, so I'm going to support it. And back to the point, offsides are the only calls that are really non-disputable. They're irrefutable facts. If you're offside, you are offside, and they have the technology to see if you are in fact behind the last man. It's just for Wenger giving that extra yard, and obviously for the current situation, it's tough to look at. It's tough to see that you're robbed of a goal because your striker's toe is offside, but that's the nature of it. That's how it is. They are in fact offside. It's not like people are deliberating, deciding that it is offside. It's a fact. The player is offside, and that's why it's called. So obviously it's tough. It's going to take some getting used to. I think that the offside rule should remain the same. I don't think that we should change to that new system. Just think about the defenses trying to cope with that, how deep they may have to sit. Strikers can really cheat on the last man, leave early, have like that, just so much extra time compared to the defender to get in those positions. It's going to be so difficult to defend. The art of defending will really be, will take another big step back if you do believe that it has taken a step back, which I believe it has. It's going to take a step back, and I don't want that to happen. I think it should remain the same. But let me know what you think about this possible new thing called, or it's been dubbed, the Wenger Law. Let me know what you think about that. You can do so on social media at AmateurPDC or on the YouTube channel at Amateur Sports. But we post every single day on the Amateur Sports Podcast, daily episodes, so make sure you stay up to date with those, whether it be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. All of the links will be in the description for anything I have just mentioned, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode.